there! Welcome to Beyond Boba, a podcast where college students aim to burst their bubbles by talking about the different issues and experiences the Asian Pacific and Desi American communities face today while sharing their own stories along the way. Here's a little sneak peek of some of the topics we'll be talking about.
Or sometimes I feel like people will use you almost as a representative of your culture, or act as if you're their cultural tour guide, or they almost try and impress you with your own culture as if that's the only representative thing you are, instead of understanding oh yeah, you're a whole person with all of these characteristic traits, all of these interests. You can't just reduce everybody down to not only their race, but I feel that just makes you replaceable, or it makes you feel that's the only reason that they're with you.
In therapy even, I remember my therapist saying, oh, you really love to exist right on that fine line between working hard and pushing yourself too far into delirium. And she was like, you seem to thrive on that line. And as long as you can maintain that balance, it's a good thing. But if you can't balance that, then that's a very dangerous place to exist and to keep yourself. And that's something that I don't know, I've had a lot of classmates tell me it's they feel kind of similarly, yeah.
We need to make sure that we're not just focusing on surface level issues, and we're not just focusing on just the mahjong thing, right? We need to focus on deeper systemic issues that affect not only our community, but the communities that surround us. We need to make sure that we're supporting other marginalized communities, and we're not just being yeah, that mahjong set sucks. I mean, yes, it does, but yeah, that's why I think, honestly.
When people think oh, Asians are so successful because their mean household income is pretty high relative to other minorities, it's just because there's this huge disparity, right? So you have the high earners, you have the low earners, and our average is just toward the top. So when diversity programs exclude Asians as a whole, they don't take into account the fact that there's a lot of underprivileged Asians in this group, and they still expect us to be successful, so we don't need the help. But at the same time, we do need the resources. There are groups that do need the resources, and a lot of people just neglect that fact.
I went to a school that was, I guess, very academically competitive. And there were a lot of, my school was 50% Asian or something. So there were a lot of kids like me who were the children of immigrants, and who were probably also had the same mindset of needing to repay their parents or needing to work hard because that's what our parents did in order to come here. And so I think a lot of pressure, for me at least, was also derived from the fact that my peers around me were also chasing the same goals of wanting to be the best, or be the most successful.
If any of that sounded interesting to you, then please stay tuned for the rest of our Beyond Boba podcast, uploaded to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube every Friday. If you're a UC student, make sure to listen until the end of each episode for a chance to win a very special prize. But that's all from me for now, so thanks for listening, and I hope you're looking forward to all we have to share.